Hello everyone, I am back. My name is Vanessa. The name of my channel is called Gnostic Knowledge. And what I am doing on this channel is reading from a book. The name of that book is called Letters and Numbers, written by Zachary Hubbard. And I encourage you to visit his YouTube channels, Gematria Effect News or Gematria Effect Sports, and purchase the book. In each of the videos that he does, he leaves a link in the description box for you to purchase the book. And the book is only $5, the best $5 you'll ever spend, because the content written in this book is just phenomenal and mind-blowing, and every human being needs to know this information. The book will come to you via email as a PDF file. There are 773 pages in this book, so there is a lot of content here. He left the copyright off this book so that you can take it to your local bindery and have it bound into a book if you like. You can upload it to lulu.com and they will make it into a book for you and mail it back to you for a fee, of course. But I encourage you, if you come across this channel, and to get that book, Letters and Numbers. Zachary Hubbard also wrote a second book, and that book is called Number Games, and you can get that book by visiting his blog page, gematriaeffectnews.blogspot.com. The first thing you'll see on that page is the advertising for the book, and as you scroll down you will see the information on how to purchase the book. This book is a paperback book and will come to you via the mail, and the instructions on how to order it within the United States and abroad is listed there. And be sure to read the blogs on his blog page. Very good information. And he also has another blog page called Free to Find Truth .blogspot.com, where he had been blogging for about 5 years or more. So there's a mass amount of content there to read. And he also has a website that he built that I always forget to mention, but it is called freetofindtruth.com, and on there you can be in touch with other people in the truth community that is waking up to the code of gematria. And gematria is the encoding of numbers within our letters. Our letters are in fact numbers, which means each word that we speak has a numerical value. And so the powers that shouldn't be, they use this code against everybody. But after you read this book, you will see it for yourself, and it is amazing. But there's nothing like truth. The truth is very, very freeing. So, and with that said, what else was there? Oh yeah, every Wednesday night, Zachary Hubbard does a radio show, and that's on TFR Live. So, and that's every Wednesday at 6 o'clock. And also and that's on the West Coast. And he also makes it available on YouTube at the same time. And one other thing, if you become a Patreon of Zachary Hubbard, at the $1 tier per month, you get both of the books, Letters and Numbers and Number Games, via email as a PDF file. So, and you also have access to Gematria School and other content that he makes exclusive for his Patreons. And with that said, I will begin on page 360 in chapter 16. And chapter 16 is called False Flags in Public Places and Fake Islamic Terrorism. And I'm going to begin with the Wakefield Massacre, December 26, 2020. In this story, a software engineer, Michael McDermott, a 42-year-old man on the 42nd parallel north, reportedly killed 7 of his co-workers during a deranged delusion about traveling through time and killing Nazis. As you'll recall, Adolf Hitler sums to 42 in Hebrew gematria, and Holocaust equates to 42 in English, matching the year the Holocaust began, 1942. Further, recall how Nazis sums to 33. corresponding with the year they came to power, and similar to how Michael, Massachusetts, and false flag equate to 33 as well. Prior to this shooting, the last reported in the media had been the Xerox killings of November 2nd, 1999 in Hawaii, one of the 3 states having a reduction gematria of 33, with the other being Delaware. Also relevant, the name Michael has ordinal gematria of 51, corresponding with mass shooting and conspiracy. And also intriguing, the shooter was born Michael Martinez, which is interesting to note because the name McDermott has Sumerian gematria of 666. Further, notice how both names have MM initials, and M is the 13th letter, breaking down to 4 in numerology. Thus, MM is 44, corresponding with the gematria of 44 for shooting and kill. The date of the shooting had death coding as well as Freemasonry. No surprise there. Consider, it was also one day after Christmas, which also shares gematria of 38. So the date 12/26/2000, you add 12 plus 26 plus 20 plus 00, and that equates to 58. The date 12/26/00, so you're really just adding 12 plus 6 plus 00, that equates to 38. Speaking of the number 58, Michael McDermott was supposedly born September 4th, 1958, emphasis on 58, and also being the day that leaves 118 days left in the year. From his birthday to the date of the shooting was 113 days, or 3 months and 22 days. 3 months and 22 days. Familiar numbers connecting back to Freemasonry. The date of September 4th can also be expressed as 4/9, similar to 49, which corresponds with Revelation, which is where the name Michael is derived from. Fittingly, Wakefield also shares gematria of 49. Michael McDermott equates to 58 in the septenary cipher. For one last Freemason tribute in the coding, the full name of the shooter was Michael Morgan McDermott, initials with MMM, which breaks down to 444, which connects back to Masonic in Sumerian gematria. The full name also has gematria of 104 in reduction, 10-4 over and out. And finally, the same name has reverse reduction of 121, corresponding with the ordinal gematria of Revelation. Keep in mind, it's always biblical, because that is where the code comes from. Wow. Okay. The Santana High School shooting of March 5th. I don't know, my voice just always cracks. Santana High School shooting of March 5th, 2001. This happened in Santee, Santee, California on the 64th day of the year, one of the favorite numbers of the Synagogue of Satan. Santee equates to 64 in ordinal. Kiel equates to 64 in reverse ordinal. As for the name of the high school, it was ripe for a false flag, summing to 174. Santana High School equates to 174 in ordinal. Santana alone also has familiar gematria of 119 in reverse ordinal. It was reported that 2 were killed and 13 were injured. Here's why that matters. The word shooting equates to 213 in Frank Baconis. Death equates to 213 in Satanic. The name of the shooter was Charles Andrew Williams. summing to 112, a number that represents the emergency dialing code for much of the world and also in the U.S. Charles Andrew Williams equates to 112. In reduction, S counted as 10. All right. University of Arizona shooting, October 28, 2001. On the date leaving 64 days left in the year, following the shooting from the 64th day of the year, 41-year-old Gulf War veteran Robert S. Flores, a University of Arizona nursing student, supposedly stormed into a lecture hall, systematically shooting down two of his professors, then ordering everyone to leave the classroom before committing suicide. Let us decode the name of the shooter to see how it ties in with the date. The word Robert, or the name Robert equates to 33. S equates to 1. Flores equates to 30. So, Robert S. Flores equates to 64 in the reduction cipher. This was a fitting day for a killing in Arizona, which sums to 39 in reduction gematria. And as for the date, 10/28/2001, 10 plus 28 plus 20 plus 01 equals 59. The word kill equals 59 in Jewish. Killer equals 59 reverse reduction. E counted as 22. 10/28/2001, you would add 10 plus 28 plus 2 plus 0 plus 0 plus 1. That equates to 41. Age of the shooter, 41 years old. Okay? 10/28/2001, you would add 1 plus 0 plus 2 plus 8 plus 2 plus 0 plus 0 plus 1 equates to 14. Dead equates to 14 in reduction. 10/28/01, you would add 10 plus 28 plus 01. That equates to 39. Arizona equates to 39 in the reduction cipher. Alrighty. DC sniper attacks, February 16, 2002. September 26, 2002. And October 2nd, 2002 to October 23rd, 2002. So, since I messed that up pretty good, I'm going to reread that. DC sniper attacks, February 16, 2002 to September 26, 2002 and October 2nd, 2002 to October 23rd, 2002. All right. As you learned earlier, 47 is the number in DC. Notice this story began on the 47th day of the calendar year. In the end, the attacker's name was John Allen Muhammad, where John has ordinal gematria of 47. Allen has ordinal gematria of 44, and Muhammad has ordinal gematria of 74. In the end, they said he killed 17 people, where the gematria of kill is 17 in the reduction method. Fittingly, he would be arrested in October of 2002, the lone month with the reduction gematria of 33, corresponding with federal. The accused shooter was black, and when he stood trial, he was 42 years old, the number stamped on black people throughout history. Let us not forget that DC also shares Sumerian gematria of 42. This story factored into the shaming of Islamic people in the aftermath of September 11th. And after his federal execution, November 10th, 2009, the 314th day of the year, the media reported he was put to death at 9:11 p.m. Consider he was killed on a Tuesday, just like how September 11th, 2001 fell on a Tuesday. So, DC sniper attacks equates to 322 in Frank Baconis. DC sniper attacks equates to 163 in ordinal. Don't forget, 163 is the 38th prime and DC is on the 38th parallel north. Wow. Oh, I was going to read the. Okay, there's a headline regarding John Allen. Okay. Jarrett, Virginia. And that is spelled Jarratt. Jarrett or Jarrett. I think it's Jarrett, Virginia. Washington area sniper John Allen Muhammad was executed Tuesday by lethal injection, a Virginia prison spokesman said. The mastermind behind the Washington area sniper attacks of 2002 that terrorized the nation's capital was declared dead at 9:11 p.m. Eastern Time, said Larry Taylor, director of communications for the Virginia Department of Corrections. There were no complications. Mr. Muhammad was asked if he wished to make a last statement. Taylor told reporters outside the Greenville Correctional Center he did not acknowledge this or make a last statement whatsoever. In fact, Muhammad, 48, said nothing from the time he entered the death chamber, accompanied by the guards at 8:58 p.m., Taylor said. All right, moving right along, we're going now to Lockheed Martin shooting, July 8, 2003. We'll begin with the reverse reduction gematria of Lockheed Martin. Lockheed Martin equates to 78 in reverse reduction. Notice how the name of one of the biggest military contractors in the world, which has a facility just down the street from Columbine High School, syncs perfectly with the date July 8th or 7/8. Let us not forget that mass shooting has gematria of 78 as well. According to reports, at 9:30 a.m., a time we're familiar with, Doug Williams, a 19-year-old employee of Lockheed, would go on a rampage with a .223 caliber rifle, killing 5 of his co-workers and injuring 9. Okay, 5 more, 5 and injuring 9 more, according to reports. Something like 59, something like kill and killer. The date of this incident, July 8, 2003, was right for death as well. So the date 7/8/2003, you would add 7 plus 8 plus 20 plus 03. That equates to 38, and death equates to 38 in ordinal. In the wake of the shooting, it was reported in the mainstream that the incident was racially motivated, where all of the deceased were black in a predominantly white workplace. The police, however, would say that the shooting was not racially motivated because all 9 of the injured people who survived were white. Let us not forget how the number 59 is often stamped on black Americans, which we'll learn more about in the chapter on the contrived race war ahead. On the subject, in ordinal gematria, black and white equates to 113, the same colors you find in the lying newspapers. Tying in with the shooting starting at 9:30, they said the perpetrator was 48 years old. Recall how the numbers 48 and 93 connect to propaganda. The shooter's name, Doug Williams, also had gematria of 64, connecting to the 2 mass shootings to come before it. In the papers, it was reported the shooter was screaming, "I told y'all to stop fucking with me. Didn't I tell y'all to not to fuck with me?" Wow. For the record, this phrase has a gematria of 726, reminding of the FBI, who was established in history on July 26, 1908. Wow, 726. And who also investigated the shooting, or more appropriately, choreographed it. The shooting was also commonly referred to as the Lockheed Martin shooting, a title having gematria of 119, like All-Seeing Eye and Star of David. So I want to go back a bit, because I could have sworn he said it was 19. Let me see. Okay, Doug Williams. So I'm pretty sure he wanted to say 59. Over here it says 19. And we have to remember he wrote this book by himself and had to do all of the editing himself. So, okay. They said that the perpetrator was 48. So, I will leave that be. As you get the book and read it, you can figure it out. But yeah, of course, there's a discrepancy there. But moving right along, Madrid train bombings of March 11, 2004. Okay, from September 11, 2001 to March 11, 2004. Left 911 days in between. As for what the event is remembered by, the Madrid train bombings, it yields familiar gematria connecting to propaganda and Saturn. So the Madrid train bombings equates to 93 in reduction. The location was also right for terrorism. Madrid, Spain equates to 54 in reduction. Terrorism equates to 54 in reduction. Even more, Madrid was a ripe target for March 11, expressed as 11/3 or 3/11. Madrid equates to 113 in reverse ordinal, 113. On the day of these attacks, Larry Silverstein, the Zionist Jew who acquired the lease to the World Trade Centers in July of 2001, just months before the attack on the same complex, and made millions of dollars in a massive insurance scam off their demise, acquired the lease to the Willis Tower, Sears Tower in Chicago, Illinois, a city that is divided into 77 neighborhood areas and is a Zionist Mecca. It is interesting to note that the Willis Tower is 108 stories tall, and Madrid, Spain has ordinal gematria of 108, corresponding with the words geometry and gematria. In light of the attack targeting trains and being synced with September 11, 2001, there was a clear riddle going on with planes, trains, and automobiles. On July 7, 2005, 69 weeks later in London, automobiles, trains, and buses would be the target. Also, as I write this book, from the summer of 2016 on, we have seen an upsurge in reports of terrorists using automobiles to attack crowds of people. As we know, the same gang that makes the movies makes the news. And if you're not aware, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is a popular comedy released in 1987. Okay, London bombings, July 7th, 2005. Okay, in numerology terms, this date breaks down to 777. Okay, so because July is the 7th month, the 7th day, 2 plus 5 equates to 7. Okay, so in numerology terms, this date breaks down to 777. And order out of chaos has Jewish gematria of 777, which is exactly what took place on this day in history. Further, consider that the number 17 is the 7th prime, and the Premier Grand Lodge began the modern era of Freemasonry in London in the year 1717. As a reminder, the word Mason has reduction gematria of 17, and their symbol has the capital G in the middle, which is the 7th letter. Also, please recall that the divisors of the number 4 sum to 7, and 7 is the 4th prime number because the numbers 7 and 4 factor into the location of the attack, as well as the name of the attacks, as well as the word Masonic. So, London bombings equate to 74 in reduction, S counted as 10. London equates to 74 in ordinal. Masonic equates to 74 in ordinal. United Kingdom equates to 74 in reduction. K counted as 11. For a few more Masonic hallmarks, let us decode London, England, in light of the remembered name of the planned attack by the numbers, which was well coordinated theater by the gang of Zionist Jews and their minions. So, London bombings equates to 223 in reverse ordinal. London, England equates to 58 reverse reduction. London bombings equates to 58 in the Chaldean cipher. London, England equates to 33 in septenary. And just in case I misread that, London, England equates to 58 in reverse reduction. So in case I said that incorrectly. And the name England equates to 33 in reverse reduction. Of the primary targets included the London Underground. London Underground equates to 58 in septenary. Another was Tavistock Square. So, Tavistock Square equates to 177 in the LCH Kabbalah cipher. Consider this attack came on the 188th day of the year, leaving 177 days left in the year. Recall, Bavarian Illuminati has ordinal gematria of 188, and New World Order has gematria of 177, a number that features another 77 sequence. As you'll recall, the number 77 was large and in charge on September 11, 2001. A prior New World Order stunt. In the case of the attack, it began at 8:49 a.m. or 11 minutes until 9. It would conclude at 9:47 a.m., which can be expressed in numerology terms as 911, where 11 is the master number. If you're counting, that means the attack ended 58 minutes after it began. Also worth mentioning, on the date of July 20th, 1990, there was a bombing at the London Exchange at precisely 8:49 a.m. In other words, some things never change. Alrighty. Goleta, California, post office shooting, January 30th, 2006. In the going postal tradition, the shooter of this January 30th, 2006 tragedy, a postal worker, was 44 years old, just like Patrick Sherrill years earlier. The big difference this time, however, the shooter was a woman named Jennifer San Marco, summing to 84 in reduction gematria. What is interesting about her age and name is that the sum of the divisors of 44 total 84. Here it was, another kill story for the United States of America, or the states by the numbers. The story was Jennifer had been a police dispatcher and then postal worker before becoming a racist, homicidal maniac. In the wake of the shooting, news headlines emerged that Jennifer had tried to start her own paper in New Mexico, the 47th state, called the Racist Press, having reductions gematria of, drumroll please, 48. Just like New Mexico, just like propaganda. In simple English, the title of her would-be paper also summed to 147, similar to Freemason, conspiracy, and killing. And also important, the word racist sums to 47, corresponding with NM being the 47th state. According to reports, after driving to the post office of her employment, she parked and then exited the vehicle, shooting a 37-year-old black woman. And when you add 1 plus 30 plus 06, that's January 30th, 06, that equates to 37. So she killed a 37-year-old black woman before targeting 5 more non-whites, both customers and co-workers. After killing 7 people, she turned the gun on herself and committed suicide, bringing the body count to 8. What is interesting to note is that Goleta, California, has Sumerian gematria of 888, and California alone sums to 88 in ordinal gematria. Remember, the number 8 represents the powerful, the ongoing, and the infinite. At the end of the day, that's what these stories are. Powerful propaganda, meant to scare us, meant to divide us. The coordinates of Goleta, California, were right for murder by numbers as well, with the city being on the 34th parallel north and the 119th meridian west. Regarding the number 119, recall that all-seeing eye has gematria of 56 as well as 119. Reportedly, the shooter was born December 6, 1961, having turned 44 years old a span of 56 days prior to the shooting. The gematria of postal worker, not by chance, also sums to 56. Oh my goodness. If you use the reduction method and count S as 10, postal worker also equates to 74. Okay. West Nickel Mines school shooting of October 2nd, 2006. The first question we should ask ourselves is, who would go out their way to attack a rural Amish school? I ask because this is exactly what was reported in this incident. According to the lying propaganda-based media, a married man with children who had fantasies of molesting young girls was the party responsible. The name of this man was Charles Carl Roberts IV from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. The full name of the shooter and would-be molester and the town of Lancaster, an Amish town, both equate to the number 93, matching the gematria of propaganda. Charles Carl Roberts IV equates to 93 in reduction. Lancaster equates to 93 in ordinal cipher. Recall how the number 93 also represents Saturn, having to do with death, judgment, and time. In the case of time, the name of the incident has gematria of 144. So, West Nickel Mines school shooting equates to 144 in reduction, K counted as 11. It should be noted that both the words molester and shooting have gematria of 44 as well. As for the date of the shooting, it fittingly connected to death. So 10/2/2006, 10 plus 2 plus 20 plus 06 equates to 38, and the word death equates to 38 in the ordinal cipher. On the subject of death, the media commonly referred to the shooter by his full name as well as the shortened name, Charles Roberts. In ordinal, the shortened name sums to 163, which is the 38th prime number. Okay, the Virginia Tech massacre of April 16, 2007. On the 106th day of the year, a number corresponding with authority, April 16, 2007, the worst shooting massacre in U.S. history would supposedly transpire at Virginia Tech University, being named in its aftermath Virginia Tech Massacre, having gematria of 96, like Freemason, and also like where the campus is located, Blacksburg, Virginia. By the end of the reported slaughter, 33 were dead, including the shooter. So, Blacksburg equates to 33 in reduction. Blacksburg equates to 96 in ordinal. Virginia Tech Massacre equates to 93 in reduction. Reportedly, the killing of the 33 people involved occurred between the times of 7:15 a.m. and 9:51, a total span of 156 minutes. Recall how 33, when written out as words, has gematria of 156, same as false flag in Jewish gematria. You might also recall that when you write out February 2nd, it sums to 156. I bring this up because the shooter supposedly purchased the murder weapon on February 2nd, 2007, the 33rd day of the year. The weapon he purchased was a Walter, I'm going to pronounce that, Walter, W-A-L-T-H-E-R. A Walter P22, summing to 33 in reduction, same as Ruger and same as handgun. Following the number 33 theme was Governor Tim Kaine, who had just turned 49 years old, 49 days before the shooting, where America and Washington both equate to 49, with Blacksburg, Virginia being right in Washington's backyard, where federal legislators were hungry to make it look like they were actually doing something. Let us now examine his name in gematria. Born Timothy Michael Kaine, and his birth numerology of 33, born February 26, 1958. A fateful day for the Twin Towers. Below, you'll notice how his name also sums to 93, matching the year of the WTC, World Trade Center, tragedy. Timothy Michael Kaine equates to 93 in reduction, and his date of birth to 26, 1958, you would add 2 plus 2 plus 6 plus 1 plus 9 plus 5 plus 8. That equates to 33. Adding insult to injury, from February 2nd, the day he purchased the welter, to April 16th was a total span of 74 days, the number connected to killing and Masonic, and being the reflection of 47, which corresponded with the date numerology of the tragedy. So 4/16/2007, you would add 4 plus 16 plus 20 plus 07. That equates to 47. All right. Moving on, the shooter's name, Seung Hui Cho. And I'm going to spell that Seunghuicho. Seung Hui Cho, sum to 58, as well as 130. The numbers of Washington, the home of the feds. So Seung Hui Cho equates to 58 in reduction. The same name equates to 130 in ordinal. Also worth mentioning is that his name in reverse reduction equates to 68, corresponding with the gematria of CIA, who along with the FBI and ATF often coordinate these manufactured tragedies for the sake of building the police state, which feeds their paychecks at the expense of the victims, who are the taxpayers. Okay. West Roads Mall shooting, December 5th, 2007. Okay. West Roads Mall equates to 322 in the Frank Baconis cipher. It is said that a suicidal 19-year-old Robert Hawkins was feeling depressed on this date in history, and according to the suicide note he left his mother, he just wanted to take a few pieces of shit with him before he went. For the planned murder, he went to the nearby mall in Omaha, Nebraska. Let us begin by decoding the date, ripe for a shooting, as well as the location and the name of the shooter. As we decode, recall that the word kill has reduction gematria of 17 and ordinal gematria of 44. Also consider this came during the holiday shopping season when America is at the mall. So 12/5/2007, you get 12 plus 5 plus 20 plus 07 equals 44. 12/5/2007, you would add 1 plus 2 plus 5 plus 2 plus 0 plus 0 plus 7 equates to 17. Nebraska equates to 44. In the reduction cipher, S counted as 10, K counted as 11. Omaha equates to 38 in ordinal. Mall equates to 38 in ordinal. Holiday equates to 38 in reduction. Robert Hawkins equates to 163 in ordinal. 163 is the 38th prime number. Wow. Omaha, Nebraska equates to 64. Reduction cipher, S counted as 10, K counted as 11. Robert Hawkins equates to 64 in reduction. Again, notice how the date matches the location, which corresponds with the shooter, and of course, all by a very familiar pattern. In the wake of the tragedy, the shooting was compared to the 1958 Nebraska and Wyoming killing sprees led by Charles Starkweather, emphasis on 58. And not by chance, the name Charles Starkweather has ordinal gematria of 215, 215, not too far off from the date of 12/5. Again, this is how history really repeats itself, by the manufactured code. To quote 1984, who controls the past controls the future. Who controls the present controls the past. Man. Reportedly, the 2007 shooter was born May 17th, 1988, the 137th day of the year, the 33rd prime number, corresponding with the reduction gematria of his first name, Robert. Wow. In the end, they say the suicidal 19-year-old killed 8 people and injured 4 more, something like 84. Wow. He would then take his own life, bringing the body count to 9, symbolizing complete in numerology terms. Notice how the number injured 4 and the total dead 9 are something like 49, coming on the 49-year anniversary of the last mass shooting in the state by Starkweather. They say the killing took place from 1:44 p.m. to 1:49 p.m. and the name Starkweather in ordinal gematria sums to 149. For the record, Starkweather was the last man to be executed in the state of Nebraska. That took place on June 25th, 1959, the date in history that was George Orwell's birthday, the author of 1984. Again, in this shooting, there were 8 killed and 4 injured by the gunman. The date of his execution had numerology corresponding with the gematria of Omaha, Nebraska. So, the date 6/25/1959, that equates to 109. 6 plus 25 plus 19 plus 59, 109. Omaha, Nebraska equates to 109 in ordinal. For one last point, as I stated before, the same gang that makes the news by the numbers is the same gang that makes the movies by the numbers. The story of Charles Starkweather inspired the following Hollywood productions: The Sadist, 1963, Badlands, 1973, California with a K, 1993, and Natural Born Killers, 1994, and of course, it also inspired the December 5th, 2007 West Roads Mall shooting. Northern Illinois University shooting, February 14th, 2008. This shooting took place on the 45th day of the year in Illinois. As we decode, recall that this number has to do with geometry, where gematria is geometry in language. Illinois equates to 45 in reduction. The number 13 written as a word equals 45 in reduction. The shooting took place in the time of Lupercalia, which sums to February 13th, which runs from February 13th, the 44th day of the year, to February 15th, the 46th day of the year. The reduction gematria of Lupercalia equates to 44, corresponding with shooting and kill, and is a celebration to remember the dead. It is said that on this day, 27-year-old Stephen Kazmierzak, and I'm going to spell that for you. Stephen is Steven, but his last name Kazmierzak. So Stephen Kazmierzak walked into Cole Hall of Northern Illinois University and began shooting students in lecture at 3:05 p.m. This is interesting because the Virginia Tech massacre took place a span of 305 days earlier, April 16, 2007. Reportedly, the shooting concluded at 3:11 p.m. when Stephen took his own life. By the time the gun smoke cleared, reportedly 5 students were killed and 16 more were injured, plus Steve's suicide. Of course, 311 is much like the reflection of 113, both being special numbers. If you search for this story on the web, you'll see where the media reported the event ended at 3:11:42, down to the second. Very specific. Let us now take a moment to decode the name of the shooter. Stephen Kazmierzak equates to 74 in reduction. Stephen Kazmierzak equates to 119 in reduction. K equals 11 and V counted as 22. Regarding the gematria of 119, in the media for the week following the shooting, oh, sorry, these alarms. Let me start that over. Regarding the gematria of 119, in the media for the week following the shooting, it was reported the shooter was taking medication for depression, anxiety, and sleep, but had recently gone off his meds. In typical fashion, the conversation pertained mostly to mental health, as well as gun safety and control. Because we have not done so yet, let us acknowledge the gematria of mental health, which equates to 47 in reduction, 19 in ordinal, and 205 in reverse ordinal. Consider all-seeing eye, which has to do with the mind's eye, has ordinal gematria of 119 and reverse ordinal of 205. And consider further, it is this same media that purposefully torments people, negatively impacting their mental health on the daily while programming violence as a means of entertainment, and then at the same time demonizing people for having negative behaviors. Could it be any more sick? The word torment equates to 33 in reduction. Let us examine his birth numerology, which points directly to Big Brother. So, 8/26/1980. 8 plus 26 plus 19 plus 80 equates to 133. Government equates to 133 in ordinal. 8/26/1980. 8 plus 26 plus 1 plus 9 plus 8 plus 0 equates to 52. Government equates to 52 in reduction. 8/26/1980. 8 plus 2 plus 6 plus 1 plus 9 plus 8 plus 0 equates to 34. Murder equates to 34 in reduction. Because he was born in a leap year, that makes his birthday the 239th day of the year, the 52nd prime number, corresponding with his birth numerology of 52. As for the date of the shooting, once again, by no surprise, the numerology was right for it. Before we decode, please notice how February 14th can be written as 14/2, a lot like 142, corresponding with terrorist. Further, recall that February and Freemason have gematria of 42, and when you write out 42, it sums to 142 as well. At the same time, let us not forget that gun has gematria of 42. So for the date, 2/14/2008, 2 plus 14 plus 20 plus 08 equates to 44. Shooting equates to 44 in reduction, and kill equates to 44 in ordinal. Okay. The Binghamton, Binghamton, Binghamton shootings, April 3rd, 2009. All right. In New York, on the 93rd day of the year, April 3rd, 2009, New York experienced a propaganda-based shooting by the numbers, beginning at 10:30 a.m. and ending at 10:33 a.m. local, with 13 dead, plus the shooter, who was said to be 41 years old, the 13th prime. 41 is the 13th prime. And named Jiverly Wong. Jiverly, Jiverly or Jiverly Wong. His initials JW equate to 33, where J is 10 and W is 23. His name also summed to 137 in reverse ordinal, the 33rd prime, as follows. Jiverly Wong equates to 137 in reverse ordinal. Wow. Fort Hood shooting, November 5th, 2009. We'll begin with the date. November 5 can be expressed as 11/5 or 5/11. Recall the words Masonic, Freemason, and killing all share gematria of 115, and the name Saturn, having to do with death and judgment, has Jewish gematria of 511. Making matters even more interesting, Fort Hood has reverse ordinal gematria of 115. Fort Hood has reverse ordinal gematria of 115. Okay. As we covered earlier, Fort Hood is located in Killeen, Texas, home of the Luby's Massacre. On this more recent date in this town, at this military base, it is said that an on-site psychiatrist snapped, killing 13 and injuring 32 more, for a total of 45 victims, corresponding with the numerology of the date. Think about the joke from the powers that be in regards to mental health, with the use of the Army psychiatrist as the shooter. In gematria, psychiatrist equates to 59. So does fort, so does kill, and so does killer. Psychiatrist equates to 59. Fort equates to 59 in ordinal. The date 11/5/2009. 11 plus 5 plus 20 plus 09 equates to 45. 11/5/09. 11 plus 5 plus 09 equates to 25. Death equates to 25 reverse reduction. In psychiatrist, that was 59 in reduction cipher. Let us examine the gematria of Fort Hood more carefully, noticing how it connects to time as well as assassin in light of the date corresponding with Saturn. Also, keep in mind we just learned that mental health shares gematria of 47 as well. Fort Hood equates to 47 in ordinal. Fort Hood equates to 101, and assassin equates to 101 in ordinal. In the Chaldean cipher, Fort Hood sums to 44, corresponding with the gematria of military and shooting, and in the septenary and reverse reduction ciphers, Fort Hood sums to 34, syncing with murder. If you abbreviate the name, making it FT, Hood, it sums to 32 in reduction, same as America, and corresponding with the 32 people injured. In terms of the America parallel, in terms of the America parallel, think about how 13 were killed and the nation began with 13 colonies, 13 stars, and 13 stripes. As for the shooter, Nadal Hassan, his name in reduction gematria equates to 38, corresponding with death, and when S is counted for 10, it sums to 47, corresponding with mental health, as well as Fort Hood. Wow. The deadly shooting, at least according to reports, began at 1:34 p.m. local, reminding of the fateful encoding of Tisha B'Av, and ended at 1:44 p.m., much like 144 connecting to time and killing and corresponding with the Saturn-oriented date. What are the odds? What are the odds? For one more coincidence, Nadal Hassan was born September 8, 1970, and turned 39 years old precisely 58 days before the shooting, or a span of 59 days. Wow. Notice his date of birth, September 8, 1970, is also a date with 106 numerology, bringing us back to authority. The date, September 8th, can also be written as 8/9, much like 89, connecting to chaos as well as religion. Him being Islamic, of course, was a major focus of the story. The media reported he considered his actions as vengeance for U.S. wrongdoing in the wake of September 11th against Afghanistan, Iraq, and the Middle East. After the attack, talking heads on the TV screen repeatedly said this was the worst act of terrorism on U.S. soil since September 11, 2001. Perhaps part of the joke was that this act of terrorism was once again an inside job carried out by the U.S. military. And with that said, this is about an hour's worth of reading. I am going to end it there and continue in chapter 16 at a later time. Maybe even later this evening, but more than likely tomorrow sometime. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the reading. I hope it will prompt you to get your own book, Letters and Numbers, and also order the book Number Games from Zachary K. Hubbard. And also look into other truth seekers that are putting out the information. You have Zenith of the Alpha. You have Chagozi Truth, Kayla D. Code Talker, Simple Truth Television, Dan Barrett, Gematrinator 85, and Dr. Savage. These are people who post routinely on YouTube information about gematria. Thank you and have a good evening. Bye-bye.